Hey, there you are. Old stud walker out in the shop. Hey, part 3 is of how to make a man rowing a boat whirligig is the boat itself. As you can see, it's pretty simple construction. So, hang on to your hats. Next, let's talk about the boat. I want to talk a little bit about how I made this boat. This is about 10 inches long. And I just cut out a curved pattern. Basically, I cut out one side and flipped it over, and that way I had a little bit of symmetry. It's not the best I did here, but then I took my sander and let's see if you can see this. I got it tilted at about a 30-degree angle there, something like that. And I'm just gonna sand a bevel on the edge here. Got a nice bevel on there. I'm not going to do both sides, but because I just want to show you. Well, up next, we'll put in our keel. And I'm going to use a piece of oak here for my keel. I'll just set a piece on there, about in the middle. Kind of like that. And then, okay, I made a little keel here. It's about 5 inches long. This part here is about a 1/2 inch. And I just put some kind of an angle on it. I didn't measure anything. I just eyeballed it and made sure it had an angle on it. And that'll fit right in here like that. So I need to cut this out on the bandsaw. I'll do that real quick. Okay, so I cut my hole here. This fits in there right like that. About like that. It probably doesn't matter, but I try to get this part flush. Let this part stick out proud. You can always come back and sand that off if you want. Alright. Then, now what I'm going to do is drill a couple 5/32 inch holes. Alright, somewhere about like that. Those will be for my dowels, which I just use the bamboo skewers. Let's see if I can. Well, you want to drill it while everything's in place. I didn't get that too straight, but I think it'll work. I just take a little bamboo skewer. When I'm pinning things, I like to drill one hole and then drill and put my dowel in and then drill it the other hole. Like that. I didn't leave a whole lot of room. I might try from this side. my other dowel in there. Okay. Looked like I split that thing. Well, I'll glue that together. Anyway, when I get ready to assemble it for the final assembly, of course I'll put glue in here. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it like this. It should be a little tighter, but it broke. Anyway, so that's basically the keel. Now let's talk about the transom. Okay. Alright. For this transom, I want to set this on a piece of wood. Let's do it this way. Somewhere about in the middle of that piece of wood. Make some marks. I transferred this angle to here, from here to here. So now we go like so. Just like that. There's your transom. I'll go cut it out on the bandsaw here. Okay, I got it all cut out. And looks something like this. I'm gonna drill a couple 5/32 inch holes. Oh, about like that. About like that. So we'll set this up right about like so. Yeah, we're still recording. Okay. So then, put a little dowel in here. There we go. Hey, I got it on there. Amazing. Okay. All right. That's your transom. Well, somehow that didn't get recorded. I'll do it again. All right. So you got your boat here. What you're going to want to do is make a cardboard template first. This one, I've already added extra. That's the part I'm going to bend over. This probably isn't the best example. Usually, I'll I'll take my pattern and then add extra around the pattern. I'll just freehand it around the pattern. I'll set my pattern on there, draw it out, and then I'll come back and I'll just freehand a little space around it that I can bend. But before you can do all that bending, you've got to cut out these corners. And basically what I did is I just went straight, continued on with the line here and here, and cut that out. Did the same thing over here. Well, if I remember correctly, you got to cut this back too. The corners are a bit tricky. Yeah, I think that's got to come quite a bit that way. Make that fit together. In fact, this has got to come out. Yeah. Something about like that. Okay. Well, next up I'll show you how I bend this. Okay. Well, I just got 2 pieces of wood. I just put them in the vise kind of lightly. Like that. Then I can slip this in here. It's a little tricky. Be careful working with this sheet metal, it'll cut you pretty quick. Okay, I think I got it clamped on there. Halfway decent. Or I did. Okay. Like that, and I'll just bend it over. Ouch! Got myself. Oh, I'm bleeding. That's the thing about the sheet metal. Any little thing will get you. All right. So I got a 90-degree bend there. Now I'll take it over here to the table saw or any flat surface. And just take a I've got a flat-edged hammer, and you just gradually beat it over. Like so. I like to get it from both sides. Okay. You want it pounded nice and flat. There shouldn't be any gaps along there, if you can help it. So it should look something like that, nice and flat. Okay, I'm not going to bother to bend them all over, but that's the basic thing. One thing that I do when I get all done, anyway, I'll stick that edge in there and I'll just give it a little bend here, right along this edge. That way you got something flat to rest against that keel. Okay. Okay. What I used to attach the metal to the boat frame are linoleum nails. I kind of like them because they got a round head usually. That one's a bit defective, and they're kind of gold colored. They're anodized. So I usually cut them down a bit because they're a bit long. I'll cut them down about so, about like that. And I drilled these holes out. They're 5/64 inch holes. Well, that fits in there right good. And then I'll take the 16th inch drill like that, and I'll just hold this up here to where I want it approximately, and I'll drill a 16th inch hole. Put my nail in there. And there you go. And I'll basically go around and put nails in the rest of them. You got plenty of room on this one, but I'd like to cut that nail down, because if you put a full-size nail in there and you have to take it out, you're going to deform this metal pretty good. So I just do a half nail in this one too. Basically, this is the wrong one because you see it doesn't fit right up, but that's basically what you do. It's pretty simple. I like to get this hammered in before I bend it over. So I'll like get it all nailed in all the way to here, and then I'll bend it so that it's got a nice fit on there. Anyway, so that's it about for the skin. That's about all you do. You know, a lot of times I don't quite get this edge right. It doesn't line up, but I don't think it makes much difference. So I don't worry about that edge if it's not perfectly flush. If it hangs over a little bit, no one will ever notice. So, okay, I forgot something on this boat. We got to make a little thing for it to ride on. So basically I got a piece of 1-inch dowel. I drilled a 15/16 inch hole part way through. I don't want to go all the way through because I want to put a screw in there just to hold it on there. So you can see I went part way through. You get a lot better gluing surface if instead of just letting it rest on the like that. End grain, it doesn't want to glue very well. So you want to get a little bit in there at least. But before I do that, I've got to drill a hole that will accept this piece of brass tubing. It's approximately 5/16 inch outside diameter. So I'm going to drill it first with 19/64, the next size under. And when you're drilling whirligig stuff, sometimes it's hard to keep everything looking at right angles and not crooked. So make sure you use some kind of jig, you know, to hold your thing up so it's at least close to being straight up and down. Anyway, let's see if you can see this. It's nothing. I'm just going to drill a hole. Alright. I didn't get it very centered. Yeah, even then, that's a little undersized. But that's 19/64. I still got to pound it in a little bit. I'll take and shape it a little bit on the sander. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if I recorded it or not, but I took a piece of 3/16 inch rod, sharpened one end to a point, and put the pointed end down in there. I just cut off a piece about yay big. I sharpened one end first. And then I put it in the hole, point down first. Then I took this rod and I give it a few taps and pounded that in there. That way it gives something for this rod to rest on rather than just wood. If you just left wood in there, that rod would work its way all the way through. I guarantee it. So anyway, so that gives something for your thing to ride on. Put a little screw in there, some wood glue. So I think we're good to go now. Well, that's about it for the boat part. I did want to say I went back and I fixed this keel. There's no reason for this to be short. The second time around I made my keel a little bit longer and I set it farther in. So you get a little more room to put in your dowels. So there's that. And I wanted to show you the location of the nails that I have in mind. Got a couple right there, and I've got a couple right there. There's one more down here. So anyway, I didn't have a very good shot of that. So, well, that's about all for now. If you got any questions, just leave me a comment. And I hope this video has been of some use to you. And I'll see you down the trail.